fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at 4 figures from the 4-inch Batman line from Spin Master. We have Nightwing, 2 versions of Batman, and then Killer Croc. Now I'm not sure what wave we're up to at this point, or if Spin Master even does full waves, or they just kind of release stuff in random assortments, but these got restocked at my Target, and I really haven't seen anything new from this line in a while. We've seen a couple things in the DC side of it, but in the actual Batman side, I feel like this line's gone kind of stagnant, but I saw these and, I thought they looked kind of neat. I really like the colors on these 2 versions of Batman. This Nightwing seems to have kind of like a cool metallic sheen to him. And then I'm told this Killer Croc is actually kind of rare, and I've got several versions of Killer Croc at this point, but I really like the paint job on this one. He's got kind of a neon, almost radiation look to him, which I thought was kind of neat. Almost looks glow in the dark. I don't think it does, but it almost looks like, especially the hands almost look like they could, but just kind of a really neat repaint. So, I don't know, maybe I was feeling nostalgic for when this line was in its heyday. I don't know. But I decided to grab these. So they do come with 3 mystery accessories. So let's just go ahead and we'll pop these open and see what we get. So they just have these little perforated sections and they just pop right out of there. So it looks like we have this generic grappling gun, and then we do get 2 of the billy clubs. And then it looks like we also get... So these are the versions that they used to do, and I really don't like these with the billy club molded into the glove. And the only reason is because here's the peg, and that would peg into the hand like this. And so he would have to hold them perpendicular to how you'd want them to be held. If there was something where this could peg in to the forearm or something so that he was kind of holding it in the normal orientation, I would like it more. But luckily I don't have to use these because they kind of just gave us these normal, these almost look like bow staffs, like from Donatello of the Ninja Turtles, but it's something. I kind of like how these have, kind of the club section at the end, but I don't like the gloves and I don't want him to have to hold them horizontal the whole time. So this is kind of the generic grappling hook weapon that we've seen, although it has kind of a black wash to it, which is kind of neat. I guess technically all of these do, but it's very pronounced on this, so that's kind of neat. So those are the accessories for Nightwing here. This version of Batman, kind of neat. Looks like it has kind of newer shoulder pads there. Kind of strikes me as almost like an Arctic getup or something, maybe when he's fighting Mr. Freeze. Let's see what accessories he comes with. If I can get this open, which apparently I cannot. I think I accidentally pushed this. Well, luckily I don't keep the packaging. There we go. I don't know why that was so difficult. Okay, so we get this very large Batarang molded in kind of a yellowish gold. And then I believe these are the shield pieces that you can, I guess, use separately as kind of like ridiculous giant blades, or you can pop them together like so to form a shield. That's all right, I guess. And then, wow, just a sword. Okay. Oh, is this supposed to be like a more of a knight version? I don't know, but I do like the sword. I think that's kind of a cool accessory. Especially with the shield. I wish the shield was not as ridiculously shaped, I guess I'll say. A little bit more traditional shield, but it's not bad. But it's kind of cool, sword and shield. We'll go with that. Next up, we have this version of Batman. I just thought this was a really cool color scheme. I wish they would say, like back in the day in the Kenner line, they would name the different versions, like Night Attack or... air attack or whatever. Give it some kind of the armor, give it some kind of a name or something. But this looks like a gas canister gun. And then we have another version of the shield. See, this is kind of a little bit more subdued as opposed to this one. I kind of like this one a little bit better, but it's the same kind of thing where he can kind of use it. See, this could kind of be believable as like a large machete or something. To me, this is not believable as a sword or some kind of giant tool. So I guess I would just leave this one as a shield the whole time. Except now it doesn't want to hook back together for some reason. Okay, there we go. You have to do it at kind of a little bit of an angle. But yeah, so we have this version of the 2 sword shield. And then the last accessory here is, I've never been 100% sure what this is supposed to be. I assume it's another kind of grappling weapon or something. But you can see this is almost kind of a translucent plastic, but it's got like a little bit of smokiness to the plastic, so it's not 100% translucent. Or I guess I should say it is translucent. It's not 100% transparent. But there we go. So those are the accessories for him. And then if I had to guess for Killer Croc, I'm going to guess he's got those chain shackles with the balls on the end. Hey, what do you know? These are the same accessories that he's always come with. These are okay. I mean, they clip around his wrist. And then you also have this, like, manhole cover that he can kind of hold. Like he's grabbed it and mangled it so that he can wield it as a weapon. But to get GC Sewer on there. So, I mean, that's alright. I mean, it's the same accessories he's always come with, but... Alright, well, that is it for the accessories. Let's get the figures out of the packaging here, and we can take a closer look. So before we dive into the figures, I just wanted to show off the little insert that comes with everybody. It's just a cool little poster here, and then on the back, if we flip it around, it shows us the breakdown of this assortment. I was trying to see if it said anywhere, like, what wave it is or anything like that, but I really don't think it does. Apparently, I was right, the Killer Croc is super rare, and I didn't realize that this Batman is actually rare. Otherwise, you have the Joker, Nightwing, Harley Quinn, this version of Batman, there's a Deathstroke, and then there's kind of a generic black suit Batman with kind of a gold outline bat. I feel like we've even gotten that one before, so it might just be a repack. Deathstroke and Harley Quinn don't really seem to be that different. The Joker doesn't really seem to be that different either. So I didn't see them at the store, but I would have passed on them anyway just because I know I have those all already. And then it just shows like another wave, I guess, that's coming soon. So we'll see what that is. I'm really hoping to get some new characters in this line because it really feels like they've gotten to the point where they're really just repacking the same kind of stuff, slightly repainted over and over again, which is kind of a bummer. There's so many different characters and villains in the Batman mythos and his rogues gallery that I really wish that they could just, you know, expand and start doing some new characters. Even if they want to repaint those characters a couple times, I'm fine with that, but at least make a new mold and then paint it, you know, a couple different ways. Regardless, let's get into these figures here. So we'll start over here with Nightwing. He looks good. I will say that the paint is a little thick, and I'm assuming they had to do that because he's obviously molded in all black plastic. But you can see definitely down here, like on the boots and the gloves as well, the paint is really thick. Like it was almost difficult to get the accessories here in his hands, and I'm kind of worried that over time it might rub off on the weapons. We'll see. So far, so good. But you can really see just how thick that paint is there on his gloves. But we'll see how it holds up. But otherwise, I think he looks great. I mean, it is a really nice blue. I think the mask looks pretty good. Articulation for these is pretty standard. Head can swivel side to side. You have a hinge and a rotation in the shoulder. Hinge and rotation in the elbow. Forearm is one solid piece, so there's nothing in the wrist, nothing in the waist. You have ball joints in the hips, so you can kick pretty far out to the side and pretty far forward. You have a thigh swivel, and then you have a hinge and a rotation in the knee. Nothing in the ankle, as from the knee down is one solid piece as well. He's also got this kind of weird diamond pattern on the inside of the boot. It's, I guess, actually I'm guessing maybe it's like a shin guard that's kind of a different design than the rest of the boot, but it all just kind of bleeds together, so it's really hard to see it. So I guess I appreciate the extra bit of detailing there, but it's very faint. But overall, like I said, I really think he looks good. I like the logo here on the chest. I think that works well and continues onto the back. Of course, it also has the peg hole in the back there. If you have any accessories that need to be mounted on the back, they should work with just about all the different figures. But yeah, pretty good little representation of Nightwing here. Put him back off to the side. And then we'll check out this version of Batman. I really like the sword. I think that looks really cool. I'm warming up to the shield. Like I said, to me, I would have rather they didn't bother to try to make this into the 2-sword, like dual use. Just make a nice shield, especially if he's already coming with a dedicated sword. But what are you going to do? It's okay. I'm definitely going to leave it together as a shield, but I do really like this sword. And overall, I think this design is kind of cool. I like the new mold here to the shoulder pads. I think that's good, but it still doesn't really hinder articulation all that much. It stops about there. I think the other ones can go a little, like maybe one click further up, but it's not really that big a deal. But I like the colors. I really do. I like the black bat here with the blue trim. I think that looks sharp. The utility belt looks good. That's painted all the way around. Have the kind of standard, kind of crinkly material. Not quite like cloth, not quite paper. I guess it's just vinyl or velvet. It's almost like, I know what kind of material that is, but I can't describe it well. I kind of wish they would switch over to cloth, because then they wouldn't be so crinkly. But, you know, they're fine. And they do still have the cutout so you can utilize the hole in the back. But you kind of see like this whole slit here where it's inserted. And I feel like, I don't know, I almost feel like that's going to tear out eventually, which I'm not looking forward to. But articulation is the same, head side to side, shoulders, elbows, knees are all the same joint, ball joint for the hips, thigh swivel, that's all the same as Nightwing. But yeah, pretty cool looking figure. I do really like the sword and shield. I especially like the sword. I think that's really sharp. But yeah, very cool little figure there. Next up we have this version of Batman. And again, I don't know, you know, I wish that it would be kind of more fun to me if they gave the suits names, like to kind of point out if they serve a special function, you know, something like that. But it's still a really cool repaint. I really like the colors. I like the silver, I like the blue, the black. That all looks really sharp. You can see here that the arm can click up a little bit higher than the one because it has the normal shoulders here. Otherwise, it's all the same articulation. Same kind of cape over here. The accessories that he came with were this like gas canister launcher, and then these two like translucent, I don't know, these don't really do anything for me. Maybe I'll just give him the yellow Batarang that came with the other version of Batman. Let me see if I can get this into his hand here. Something, maybe, no? Alright, well, he'll just go accessory-less. But it's a cool looking suit. I really do like the colors. I think that's pretty cool. And then last but certainly not least, we have our new paint job for Killer Croc. I really like it. I don't, like I said, I definitely have plenty of Killer Crocs. I mean, he was one of the first figures released in this line, and he's been repainted several times. And I just took a look at the one with the actual kind of like crocodile head not too long ago. And I'm not sure. I was looking around to see if I had that handy, but I don't. But I like this color scheme. I think this paint's really cool. Like I said, it gives him kind of a neon radioactive look, which I just think is really cool. He still has the bandages molded in, but they just kind of painted over them. But it kind of works because it kind of just looks like leathery skin, which, you know, a crocodile would have. So even though they didn't bother to like remold the bandages away, I think it still kind of works. And I kind of like it. I love all of the paint here. And the skin, like this kind of plastic for the torso, has a faintly translucent quality to it. It's not fully opaque. It's not fully transparent. It's like barely translucent, but it's neat. It just, all the effects come together, and I think it really works. So I really like it. His head can also move side to side. He's got a really nice, solid shoulder joint. For these figures that don't have knees, they usually have like larger upper bodies. The joints are always really nice in the elbows and the shoulders because they're a little bit bigger, so they're more solid. Really nice movement there. Still nothing in the waist. You have a ball joint down here for the hip, and then you just have a thigh swivel, no knees. And I think they do that because for the larger upper body figures, they want them to be more stable, so they don't give them knees. Or maybe it's a budget thing, or both. He comes with the same exact accessories, and I like these, but the problem is, once again, just like with these, you have a 90-degree off kind of situation going on here. I would rather these hang down like this. Because if I pop this on his wrist in a normal pose, I mean, I guess it's not terrible. If I have his arm hang down, then obviously that's how gravity would be. But if he goes like this, I would want them to hang down like that. So, I don't know. Maybe do one of each, but obviously they just did the same thing twice. So, again, they're kind of neat, but they're off by 90 degrees. Same thing with these. So, almost. Also, he has the manhole cover. I've tried to kind of put this in his hand, and maybe I'm doing something incorrectly, but I think it's supposed to go like this. And it kind of works. It's not terrible. You know, so it's just a way for him to hold it, and he could throw it at someone or just bash someone with it. But it almost looks like the way it's done, it almost looks like it's supposed to clip onto the thumb, but I don't think so because I can't get it to line up with the other fingers in that regard. So I think it's just like this, and that kind of works. So again, all of the accessories are kind of good, but just not quite there. But I really like the figures, and honestly, they're still $8 a piece, which I think is pretty remarkable considering all of the price hikes across all the rest of the toy markets. You know, Hasbro has got prices increasing every time you turn around, and these have stayed $8 for 4-5 years now at this point, which is kind of remarkable, honestly. I think they've done a really nice job. They're still good, consistent figures. And for $8 a piece, you really can't go wrong. My only complaint with the line is I wish we just got more characters. You know, maybe that's a budget thing. Maybe to keep them at $8, they can't really invest in new molds. But I mean, I would honestly be okay with them going up to 9, possibly 10, if it meant expanding the line, if it meant, you know, getting some new characters. Because I still think they're good, solid little figures. And I think for the price, the value is definitely there. So I would recommend any of these, honestly. Like, the accessories aren't the best, but honestly, I think the accessories for Nightwing are cool if you use these instead of these. I think the sword and shield are cool for this Batman. I don't really like most of the ones that he came with, but if you collect enough of this line, you can mix and match the accessories. I could give him the grappling hook or something, you know, or the batarang if I could. I'll figure out how to fit it in his hand. But and then Killer Croc, I think, really cool. I mean, definitely I recommend some version of this mold if you have it already. I understand you might not need it again, but some version of this mold is definitely worth checking out because it's a really cool mold and it's a really cool design. And yeah, I think this line's a lot of fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.